First impressions are definitely important, but everybody deserves a second chance, right? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 games you should give a second chance.
You really have to do this, all things considered.
For more gaming videos, check out our new spin-off channel, Mojo Plays, for in-depth reviews, thoughtful video essays, detailed character origins, and insightful commentary. Mojo Plays, games smarter. For this list, we're taking a look at some games that have had a rocky start to their release, but have made a turnaround since. Number 10, Torment, Tides of Numenera.
He became known as the Changing God.
Nothing could disrupt your launch worse than having the spotlight taken away, but that's exactly what happened with Torment. If you haven't even heard of this game, we don't blame you, really. It was funded on Kickstarter and was released on the same day as Horizon Zero Dawn. Ouch.
No, that can't be right.
As the spiritual successor to the RPG Planescape Torment, Tides of Numenera presents an intricate and intelligent story that should not go unnoticed. If you finished Horizon, or maybe if you don't even have a PS4, and you're looking for a deep RPG, Torment, Tides of Numenera has got you covered.
What happens next is your story.
Number 9, YookaLaylee. A spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie? Shut up and take my money. Unfortunately, not everything blossomed into roses at launch. It's easy for any player to walk away from a game with a wonky camera, unskippable cutscenes, and a hub world that feels kind of like a labyrinth. Playtonic has addressed these issues, and the game is now a bit more enjoyable thanks to some much-needed design tweaks, as well as improvements on the controls and options. If you were disappointed with the original package, you might be satisfied with the new adjustments, if you give it a second try. Number 8, SpiderMan Web of Shadows.
What has become of my city? What has become of its heroes?
Pretty much every superhero has had a hard time getting a good game, but a few do manage to pull through. Spider-Man games have been shaky in recent years, with the exception of 2008's Web of Shadows.
I get attacked and then I get shot at. How's that fair?
The game may suffer from a weak story and a few glitches here and there, but where Web of Shadows still shines is in giving players a good sense of what it would be like to have those spider powers. Its combat and web slinging generate a healthy amount of thrilling moments that make you feel like the web-headed hero. So, if you need your fix of Spider-Man before Insomniac releases their newest game, Web of Shadows probably won't do you wrong. Number 7, Warframe. It can be hard for a free-to-play game to make a good impression. Warframe was no different at launch. This third-person shooter used to be a little bit buggy and kinda barren on content, with gameplay that would only last an hour or so before it waned. However, with a lot of love, new maps, new characters, and monthly updates, Warframe has definitely earned its 26 million player base by now. So, if this title failed to impress you on your first try, it's definitely time to check in and try out the new stuff. Number 6, The Elder Scrolls Online. You might recognize this title as the Elder Scrolls game that no one plays, and while you wouldn't have been wrong around the time the game launched back in 2014, that's really not the case anymore.
Let's see if we can put these spirits to rest.
While ESO suffered from a very rocky start, with its poorly written story, boring combat, and expensive subscription fees, things have gotten significantly better since the 1 Tamriel update opened up the world to lower level players, and later the Morrowind expansion. Bethesda has given us plenty of reasons to come back. Better stories and quests? Check. PvP mode? Check. No more subscription fees? Perfect.
This is 1 Tamriel.
Number 5, Hitman 2016.
You know the expression, know your enemy?
An episodic release doesn't complement every game, so people were skeptical in the case of 2016's Hitman. You see, once IO Interactive announced that the game would be released episodically, not even the hardcore fans stuck around very long.
That was the plan.
The reason for this move, though, was to give the levels more depth in an effort to add some replay value to the game. IO succeeded in this by adding various methods of taking out your targets and implementing new challenges to increase difficulty. Yeah, this was questionable during the release, but the game is really good and packed with content now.
In the meantime, keep him under close watch.
Number 4, Titanfall 2.
A pilot sees the world differently.
Much like Torment, Titanfall 2 suffered from very bad timing, releasing a week after EA's other shooter, Battlefield 1, and a week before Activision's Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. That's a real shame, because Titanfall 2 displayed a massive improvement from its predecessor, especially in its single-player campaign, which now existed.
The frontier has been the only home I've ever known.
Titanfall 2 is a romp. fueling every moment with frenetic, fun, fast-paced action. If you're looking for something a little different in your first-person shooters, Titanfall 2 won't disappoint you. Number 3, Diablo 3.
The powers of hell could already be on the move.
Not to worry, folks. Error 37 is not a problem anymore. But even once that was settled, there was still a significant lack of endgame content here. There just wasn't much replayability once you beat the game. Blizzard eventually added in the Paragon leveling systems and additional difficulty settings, but it wasn't until the Reaper of Souls expansion when the game got some real meat on its bones. Featuring an armory system, an improved inventory system, and seasonal events, Diablo 3 has gotten a lot beefier since launch.
I wield the power they cannot.
Number 2, Pokemon Go. Anyone with a phone must remember this experience. Pokemon Go exploded with the public, who lost interest almost immediately after. At launch, servers were overloaded. The game crashed too many times, and there wasn't much to do outside of catching Pokemon and conquering gyms. But since the hype died down, the game has received a massive overhaul. Generation 2 and Generation 3 Pokemon have since been added. The tracker now shows which Pokestop wild Pokemon hang around near. Real-world weather can boost or weaken certain types of Pokemon, and more importantly, raid battles against legendary Pokemon have been added. So now you can finally catch that Mewtwo in Times Square. Number 1, No Man's Sky. All right, put your torches and pitchforks down and hear us out. No Man's Sky was one of the messiest launches since E.T. on the Atari. Despite this, developer Hello Games have been hard at work to make No Man's Sky the game that they were originally promising to make. If you choose to make your return to the stars, you'll find new features like base building on planets, land-based vehicles, improvements to the economy system, a creative mode, and a survival mode.
And purchased freighters can be navigated between systems.
With positive feedback pouring in, the future of No Man's Sky seems bright. So now might be the time to grab your copy.
To explore the universe together.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.